President Zelensky, welcome to the show.
Вітаю.
Greetings to you all. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you.
President Biden has called Vladimir Putin a war criminal. And yet, you have called for negotiations with him. Will it be hard, will it be painful for you to have to sit down with Putin were he to agree and negotiate with him?
Я готовий до перемовин.
I am ready for negotiations with him. I was ready over the last 2 years. And I think that without negotiations, we cannot end this war. I think that all the people who think that this dialogue is shallow and that it is not going to resolve anything, they just don't understand that this is very valuable. If there is just 1% chance for us to stop this war, I think that we need to take this chance. We need to do that. I can tell you about the result of these negotiations. In any case, we're losing people on a daily basis, innocent people on the ground. Russian forces have come to exterminate us, to kill us. And we have demonstrated the dignity of our people and our army, that we are able to deal a powerful blow. We are able to strike back. But unfortunately, our dignity is not going to preserve the lives. So I think that we have to use any format, any chance in order to have a possibility of negotiating, the possibility of talking to Putin. But if these attempts fail, that would mean that this is a third world war.
You know the Russian demands. They want you to recognize that Crimea is part of Russia, that the two republics in the Donbass are independent republics. They want a guarantee, perhaps in the Ukrainian constitution, that Ukraine will never be a member of NATO. Are you willing to make those compromises?
There are compromises for which we cannot be ready as an independent state. Any compromises related to our territorial integrity and our sovereignty, and the Ukrainian people have spoken about it. They have not greeted Russian soldiers with a bunch of flowers. They have greeted them with bravery. They have greeted them with weapons in their hands. So forcibly, you cannot make yourself a friend. You cannot curry favor with the citizens of another country forcibly. You cannot just make a president of another country to recognize anything by the use of force. So everything that they are doing is not just about politics. It's about reality. They have made their way to Kherson region, but people are feeling hatred towards them, animosity, and people will continue to kill Russians because Russians have killed their children. You cannot reverse this situation anymore. So you cannot just demand from Ukraine to recognize some territories as independent republics. These compromises are simply wrong. I cannot recognize, firstly, as a president, secondly, as a citizen, and thirdly, you cannot force people to love the enemy. That's impossible. What you can do is to make a pause and just decide on how we are going to live further on. What has to be done in order to put an end to the war, to prevent further wars, and how to find an approach to these territories which are temporarily occupied. This is a very difficult matter because part of these territories were occupied 8 years ago. And during entire period of 8 years, they have been brainwashing people and children on whom they are. They've been telling them that they have preserved their lives. They have been telling lies that Ukrainians are fascists. They have been filling their heads with lies for many years. And it's very difficult because of that to find understanding. you definitely understand me what information policies mean. Therefore, we have to come up with a model where Ukraine will not lose its sovereignty, its territorial integrity. We cannot concede to it. But still, we have to find a model of understanding to prevent further wars between our territories that we control and temporary occupied territories. So whatever the discussions that we have in our negotiating delegations, I think that it's just the two of us, me and Putin, who can make an agreement on this. The second story is related to ultimatums that cannot be there, emanating from one country to another country. I mean, in general and concretely in terms of Russia's ultimatums to Ukraine. And there cannot be any ultimatums from any country whatsoever to another country, regardless of the army it has, regardless of the finance, regardless of the size of the economy, because it's international law. It's about respect to the sovereignty of each country. Therefore, dialogue is the only way out. It is through dialogue that we have to resolve the matter of security guarantees for Ukraine. We do not want to give any country a possibility to attack us. Today it's the Russian Federation. Hopefully, any other country will not be willing to attack Ukraine's independence. But still, you can see that Belarus launched rockets against Ukraine at the very beginning. Therefore, that's a matter on the table right now. Therefore, NATO could be a source of guarantees for Ukraine, but we are not accepted as a member of NATO. So Ukraine has to seek for other security guarantees from individual countries that could be NATO members. And that is what we are proposing. A number of leaders of the world's countries could be a source of guarantees for Ukraine. They could be part of this circle of powerful countries. That is what we can talk about, security guarantees for Ukraine.